In this era, well testing is one of the most fundamental operations in petroleum engineering that is conducted in all stages in the life of the reservoir. However, we have several types in well tests, which are build-up tests, drawdown tests, wireline formation tests, and moreover. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nadima Uget. My group members and I would like to present about the wireline formation test. But before we head into the main points, I would like to give a brief information about the well test, while my group members will brief you about the contents of the presentation, which are: what is wireline formation test, type of wireline testing, operation of wireline testers, evaluation, and last, which is conclusion. Well, what is well test analysis? Well test analysis is the final evaluation step before the well is put into production and provides essential information to design the well completion and production facilities. And it's also conducted in all stages in the life of the reservoir. As we can see in the diagram here, we call this life cycle of a well. We have three stages, which is the drilling part, production, and reservoir characterization. Well, what is the objective of well testing? We have four main objectives, which is to measure the formation pressure, to measure the permeability in the skin, to measure the reservoir characteristic, and last, which is to measure the formation fluid PVT properties. That's all from me. I would like to pass the floor to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Aoko Gedapayo. I would like to present about the methods of well testing. Alright, we have several methods. Start with build-up test and drawdown test, injection test, interference test, drilling steam test, last but not least, extended well test, and finally wireline formation testing. And this is the part that we are going to focus on explaining it. Wireline formation testing. It happened in cased hole and in open holes. Mostly it happens in open holes because the measurements are not obstructed and it is done during or after the well has been drilled. That's the advantage of it. Moving on to the outcomes of wireline formation. Alright, to understand how wireline formation tests work, as well as to apply formation testing and sampling, and also to understand reservoir characteristic, and as well as to interpret pressure gradient data, and last but not least, to evaluate oil, gas, and water contacts, and finally to evaluate formation permeability. And that's all. I would like to pass on to the next presenter, Hashim Mohammed. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Hashim and I will be talking about wireline formation test. The wireline formation test is conducted by inserting a probe into the borehole wall and performing a mini drawdown and build-up. This is performed by withdrawing a small amount of formation fluid and then waiting for the pressure to build up to the formation pool pressure. There are two types of wireline formation test. The first type is repeat formation tester. This type of test is conducted in open hole. The tool is run down the hole to get a continuous digital readout of hydrostatic pressure. Then at any point in the hole, the tool is hydraulically force a rubber bed against the wall of the hole. Then a tube in the center of the bed is forced against the formation. This will create a low pressure and force the fluid to enter the chambers. The readout formation pressure can be obtained by many times and two chambers can be filled at once. This can save more time. However, for the second type of wireline formation, test, which is called formation interval test. This type of test can be conducted in both open hole and cased hole. The tool is also run down into the hole, and there are rubber beds which are forced to the wall of the hole. This is to form a seal against the hydrostatic pressure of fluids into the hole. A shaped charge is fired into the formation to open a passageway into the chamber. A surface readout is also able to read the sampling, shut-in, and hydrostatic pressure. The chamber is retracted and returned to the surface. However, if it is the case of open or closed hole, it's better to provide the chamber with 4 gallons of cement, which can be injected later during the retraction.
Hi everyone, my name is Aman Malak, and it's such an honor to enlighten you about the function of wireline. Based on performance of wireline logging tools, for instance, acoustic tools, gamma ray tools, density tools, neutron tools, and resistivity tools, it's easy to determine the function of wireline. As you can see, wireline test is conducted to obtain the formation pressure in the borehole. It also determines the fluid gradient and fluid contact, for instance, oil-water contact and gas-oil contact. Thirdly, wireline determines the vertical or horizontal permeability of the formation. And the last one is it conducts control local production and interference. I'll pass the floor to my colleague Chow to tell you more about wireline operations. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Cho and I will be explaining about the operation of wireline formation test. The operation is basically by the usage of a sonde that can be positioned at any subsurface depth to collect data which are mainly formation pressure and fluid properties. When the tool is being moved downhole, it is in retracted configuration, and when it reaches the selected depth, the tester is activated and hydraulically set against the formation. There are 2 modes of measurements. One is the pre-test, which measures the formation pressure, and another one is to withdraw fluid samples for further examination on the surface. Before activating the tool, the pressure gauge measures hydrostatic pressure, and after activation, the probe is pushed against the formation. In a few seconds, the piston of the first chamber withdraws the formation fluid, which is normally about 10 cc. And 15 seconds afterwards, the same amount is withdrawn into the second chamber, but at a higher flow rate. Upon completion of these pre-tests, samples and the tool are retrieved. This procedure is repeated for different desired depths, and the data and the samples obtained are evaluated and analyzed for reservoir properties. Now I will pass it to my classmate Waylin to explain about this further. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Waylin. Now I will explain about the evaluation of wireline formation testing. The chamber pressure are recorded as 1 and 2. The function of the chamber number 1 is to check against the downhole formation pressure, and chamber number 2 is to indicate any leak in the chamber bath. The fluid sample collected in the chamber is discharged through a separator to be separated into oil and water, where water resistivity is recorded. If the fluid sample is oil and gas, oil gravity and gas oil ratios are obtained. The changes in the trend represent fluid contact, and average changes represent barrier to the particle flow. Lateral variations of pressure shows heterogeneity. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Waylin. As we've heard the entire presentation, we can conclude that wireline is a tool that measures downhole pressure in the formation. There are 2 types of wireline formation: the repeated formation tester and the formation interval tester. These 2 types help us in determining various formation pressure, fluid gradient, and fluid pressure within the formation in order to indicate gas oil and water oil contacts, as well as permeability. The reason why wireline is mostly preferred in oil and gas industry is due to the fact that it's a quick method and it's cheap. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and do have a good day.